Good evening. Welcome back. Welcome back to ABN AMRO. We are live right now. Welcome to the live broadcast. And I am Amir Callahan. How is everything going? I hope you have a great weekend, and I had one. Totally relaxing. Anyway, weather is getting nicer, so I have a lot of things prepared for you. So let's get it on, right? So let me try to go over some of the content that you guys already know what's gonna happen tonight because I was so we posted in the group. But anyway, let's go over it again. We are gonna have financial news, a lot of news going on, especially with the Federal Reserve. We have some numbers came out. We have the CPI, we have the PPI came out. Is not in favor in a way because the number is more than expected. But anyway, let's talk about it later. So we will also have a market analysis on both stock and cryptocurrencies. Well, and you know what? And I have been talking to some of the members, and one particular member, hopefully I don't pronounce your name wrong, Mr. Sorab. Mr. Sorab, thank you very much. We have been contacting each other like for the last 2 weeks. Anyway, he wants to know more about cryptocurrencies, how it works. And I can totally understand, and so thank you very much for the question. The reason why is that because I know that a lot of people are, including Mr. Sorab, is more into stock. And then the stock concept and the cryptocurrencies concept they are two different concepts. So because like when you have stocks, basically you have a part of ownership, but cryptocurrencies is different, right? So this is what I'm gonna do. I am going to dedicate the next three broadcasts. We'll go talk about this. We're gonna go over the history. First of all, we're gonna go over the history of the cryptocurrencies, and then we want to go over is how does crypto makes money? How does cryptocurrencies, if it is not ownership of anything, so like when you have ownership of a stock, then, if the company makes money and if the company's market caps of the company goes up, then, basically you make money in both of these ways. But how does cryptocurrency works? How does it go up and down? And how does it make money? And there are 5 different ways for cryptocurrencies to make money. So, and I will go over that. So anyway, thank you, Mr. Sorab, and I do encourage all of you, if you have any kind of questions, you can contact my assistant, you can contact a trader, you can contact me, you can direct message me if you want to. Most of you already have my contact. So anyway, so I'm not going to delay it anymore. So let's keep going. We're going to go over our financial news. We have the first thing first. Thursday, we have the Federal Reserve. We have the Federal Reserve chair. We have Jerome Powell came out and start talking about what is going on, because all the focus right now, well, definitely we have the president. We have the president elected, and then he is changing everything basically. But still, right now, something's important is the interest rate, and he came out, and there were 2 things he didn't say he was worried about it, but he actually came out and talked about it. It's like there were 2 numbers. It has to do with inflation. Right now, of course, all of you already know that the 2 mandates for the Federal Reserve we have 2. It's just the price stability and also maximum employment. Now, but the 2 numbers, the PPI numbers and the CPI numbers, is not supporting it. Basically, last week, Thursday, the PPI, and then I think the day before or a couple of days before, they have the CPI number out. Both of them are higher than expected. So some might think that yes, the economy is getting better because we are taking down the interest rates then, but he was thinking that might be more than that. So that's the reason why he came out and start thinking about that. They might have to hold on to the interest rate cuts, because the 2 numbers came out, and also that because of our new president Donald Trump, president re-elected, because he has a lot of policy is inflationary. So that's why he was keep putting it into considerations too. So anyway, we were gonna supposed to have 100 basis points to 125 basis points cuts. Now there's a possibility of next month we are not going to have a cut. He basically what he was saying is that he's not in a hurry. He is not in a hurry to get the rates down. He's just gonna make sure it's the right timing. So even though he already pinned a picture that we are in good hands, our economy is doing good, but maybe the rate cuts could be delayed. So that's also the reason why that for Thursday and then we had Friday, the stock market is not taking it so well, and it must be too. The reason why is that we were on that trend because of our new president, and then that height is just kept going for like a week or for over a week already, and it's about time to kind of die down for a little bit. And then Chairman Powell came out and talked about the interest rate cuts, and this might not happen because of the sticky inflation. So anyway, we still have like a month to go. There's still going to be a lot of numbers, and hopefully later on the numbers going to support the rate cuts, because if there's going to be a rate cuts, what's going to go up? Cryptocurrencies. So that's what we focus on, right? So anyway, so that is the Federal Reserve. And there are more numbers too, and basically it's supporting what the chairman was saying, is just that the number is going up. Retail sales being up for like 0.4% in August. In October, economists expected 0.3%, but is higher than slightly higher. But that is not the problem here. The problem here is that the September number was revised up. It was 0.4%, but after the revision, it is 0.8% on the growth in the retail sales. So that is one of the issue here. So then, it's a good sign that retail sales is going up. However, is it supposed to be there is an inflationary calculation there or not? And the thing is, could it be just there are more sales, or just the products they're selling is more expensive? That was a concern about that. And there is a second concern about this, is that the most inflated items is auto sales. So when we were looking at the auto sales, basically if we're looking at the auto sales, is way more than the other sector. We are looking at the auto sales drove the majority of the gains of the October readings. When talking about, we had a 0.4% increase, but over in auto sales, there's a 1.6% increase. So that's the reason why basically if we go take away the auto sales, it's actually a decline. So it is a good thing or not? It is, because usually when auto sales goes up means that economy is going good. However, it's still inflation. Sometimes it's still inflationary. So anyway, that was the two issue we have. Basically, we have on October, if it's not because of auto sales, basically everything's flatline. The second, or even there's a decline too. And the second thing is that this is the revision of September, because it is quite a bit of the revision over there. So anyway, so that's the reason why that when it comes to that, it could be inflationary. It could be. No one knows that, but we'll probably find out about very soon later. So that is the retail sales number. Is it good? It might not be good for them for the rate cuts, but the economy is going better. The next one we'll go over is Warren Buffett. We have Berkshire Hathaway is on the news again, and I always loved it because every time when he has to, whatever he does when it comes to buying and selling his stocks, he has to report that. So I love that. So anyway, on Thursday, the filing that he is buying things. He's buying something. We have Domino Pizza. He is buying and he is selling Apple. And I want to remind you, It's not that when you're buying something that is a good stock, and then when they're selling something, is the stock is going to be bad. It's actually the opposite. That if a stock is undervalued, you go buy, and then when it's overvalued, you sell. So it really doesn't necessarily that the stock is the company is doing good or bad. It's just numbers. So anyway, we have Domino's. Berkshire Hathaway owned about 1.28 million shares of the Domino's Pizza as of September 30th. And think about that. Right now, the stock price is around, you're looking at $430 per shares, and 1.28 million. So you're looking at $500 million, of course. But this is $500 million. $500 million is kind of change for him. So anyway, so according to the regulatory 13F filing on Thursday, and then Thursday sending the shares of the company up 7% after hours. However, like the Friday, it ended up coming down like 1.27%. So anyway, it didn't really move quite that much. And there's other shares too. We have Pool Corporations. He has 404,000 shares of that. Right now, the start price is at $359. Friday went up around half a percent. Anyway, so that's quite a bit of money too. And besides that, we have a jet engine supplier, Heyco Corporations. He also bought in some of them too. So anyway, so usually whatever he buys, I'll buy. Whatever he sells, I would sell too. So anyway, here's the list of the things that he's selling. So we have the Apple he's selling, and then we have a Capital One. He's selling Capital One, but Capital One's been doing really good though. And then we have Neo Holdings, Sirius XM, Bank of America. He is selling more of that too. And then we have a Charter Communication and also Ulta Beauty. So I'm surprised that he was buying Ulta Beauty before, and then he's now selling it. So that's quick. It's been really quick. So anyway, that if you want the list, you can have them. You can have the notes. I had to contact my assistants. You can have the notes, and you can have the list right here. So that's Berkshire Hathaway. The next one we will go over is there was a couple news with Elon Musk, Tesla. Basically, this one here is more of Tesla. Because Donald Trump's the transition team is planning to kill off, remember that $7,500, the tax credit for the EV purchases, and they are trying to end that. So anyway, the sales, it means that the EV is going to be more expensive. Yes, it's going to be. And Elon Musk actually showed, he's realized that, and he says that, he's actually showing support of that. However, he also realized that it would be for the other auto company, for example, we're talking about General Motors, we're talking about Ford, that is going to be a devastating blow for them. But anyway, you can't help the EVs industry forever. They got to stand on their own anyway. So even though this is going to hurt, even though it is going to hurt Tesla, Elon Musk said, it's not going to hurt us that much. But for the other ones, so anyway, that day we have the Tesla, the stock went down around 6% to $311. However, it came back up to $320. We are looking at still the market cap is $1 trillion. Great. We have other companies though. It actually hurts them much more. We have the Rivian that had the joint venture with Volkswagen is down 14%. Now it's like only $10.31. And we have Lucid, another EV maker, down 5% to $2.08. So yes, definitely going to be hurting. So anyway, if you still want to take advantage of the EV tax credit, it is time to do so for Christmas present, right? All right, so the next one is still Elon Musk because we're talking about SpaceX. So SpaceX is launching a tender offer in December to sell the existing shares at a price of 135 per shares. So the tender offer would value the SpaceX at more than 250 billions, according to the source. So Elon Musk is already the richest person in the world, but he is expected to wield a significant influence in Washington now. He's going to be, instead of a very rich person, he's also going to be a politician too, and he is going to be helping out in the government. So this is going to be crazy, but you have to think about that. He does have a lot of influence when it comes to the Trump president, the Trump administration. So that's why a lot of energies, and he's going to be here is the Doge department in charge of that, and then also SpaceX. He was thinking about, because he's always wanting to land in Mars, and I respect that, but it's probably going to be a long time. But they need time for the development. But this company, the especially good company, is because of the contract with NASA. Now a lot of the NASA contract is contracted out to SpaceX. There's one of the program is called the Optimus program, which means which basically what it is was the SpaceX Starship rockets to put human on the moon, and then it was licensed. It was not licensed out. It was just contracted out because it takes NASA so much more to create it on their own. So that's why now all the contracts, basically SpaceX is one of the the biggest benefiter. Is that what we decided? Probably the specific name for it. So anyway, but there was a problem though with this company because there had been a lot of claims. It was documented injuries in this company. Just last year, there was 600 workers were injured in the company. And basically what it is, people was accusing SpaceX as disregarding the safety of the regulations and standard practice. So this is probably the only thing we need to worry about this company. Well, this is not a publicly traded company, so that's why when he's offering this, I don't know how he's going this tender over. I don't know how it's going to work out, but that sounds like a good idea. So anyway, so that is SpaceX. This one here, I love it. This piece of news here, it was so refreshing because I was going over the clips of this meeting. So, and these two guys, we have the CEO of SoftBank, and the CEO of Nvidia. So these two guys, it seems like, well, both CEOs, right? But there's more to this company. So let me go over the report first, all right? So SoftBank's Japanese telecom units will receive the first chips using Nvidia's latest Blackwell designs, even though the Blackwell design is saying that it will caught on fire, it will overheat and everything, but still, it doesn't really matter because all you need is just more cooling to that. So, but anyway, but we have SoftBank is going to be using the Blackwell design for its supercomputer. So the CEO is basically, the report said, Masayoshi-san is going to take on our artificial intelligence into the company. And when I was looking at this report, this is kind of interesting. The reason why it seems like the person who wrote this report didn't really know Mr. Sun's background with Nvidia. So, and I'm going to tell you this story because I encourage you to watch these clips of them in the meetings. They were so happy together. It's like you by looking at the video, they're best friends. They're they were really good friends. So anyway, so SoftBank Corp is planning to use the Grace Blackwell chips for a further supercomputer set to Nvidia, which held an AI event in Tokyo on Wednesday featuring SoftBank Group. We have Mr. Sun and also Jensen Huang that they were in the meeting. And Song is pushing to expand his company's exposure to the AI wave, taking a stake in OpenAI and also acquiring chip startup. We have GraphCore after the turbulent few years that forced the billion to kind of go the different direction. But anyway, the two businessmen held a fireside chat at the event. They were giving each other hugs. They were like very friendly to each other. And with Jensen recalled this is fun. Recall Sun had once offered to lend him money. I'm talking about Jensen, like Mr. Sun offered Jensen money to buy out Nvidia, and at that time Jensen declined that offer. Now he's regretting it. That's exactly what he said. Now he's regretting it. But anyway, the whole story is Mr. Sun was actually the major shareholders. He is the biggest shareholder of Nvidia at a time. So in this news, they almost want to think that SoftBank is trying to get into AI, but Mr. Sun is AI himself, so it's really crazy. And then Jensen's called Mr. Sun Masa because that's his name, Masayoshi. So it's called Masa. He's the biggest shareholder, and also he's the guy that they can basically cry together. So anyway, so it's just very interesting to see this interesting relationship, and especially with Jensen. Jensen has good relationship with basically every single company CEO, very close relationship because I've been working with a lot of them. So anyway, we are looking at a report on a analyst. They pushed the stock price target from 160 to 180. Right now, the stock we are looking at is $142 right now. So there's a lot of room to grow for Nvidia, and we are still at $3.5 trillion in market cap. Even with the company's stocks went down 3.25%. That is on Friday. So great work. It's expanding. Now they just have to work out the problem with the Blackwell. So that's Nvidia. Next one here is great news. This is phenomenal news. And I think if Biden didn't do anything right, this is something under his administration, this is something he did right. And the reason why we kept talking about the Taiwan Semiconductor Company, this company, is because that this is the only company in the world that does manufacture AI chips, AI semiconductors. This is only company in the world. And also when it comes to other semiconductor foundries, this company basically has 60% of the market shares of that. So anyway. So the U.S. Commerce Department said on Friday, and it's been finalized, that they are getting according to TSM. TSM is getting $6.6 billion government funds to fund their operation over in Phoenix, Arizona. And well, let's get into more about that. The binding contract after the preliminary agreement announced in April is that the first major awards to be completed under the $52.7 billion program created in 2020. So it comes to just weeks before the presidential election, and then Donald Trump was not very happy about this program. But you know what? And he don't have the saying back then, and maybe later on he would. So anyway, in April, TSMC agreed to expand the plans, its planned investment by $25 billion to $65 billion, and to add a third Arizona lab by 2030. Means that they are opening, but they have their manufacturing plants already in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. However, they still doesn't have the capability of manufacturing AI chips. Now, all the AI chips is being manufactured in Taiwan. However, with this plan, now they are now that this company, the TSM, is shifting the balance back to the United States. So now then they will have the capability to start manufacturing AI chips in the United States. So it gave us such a big leverage over the other country. So anyway, so this is a very good thing. So anyway, there's a lot of other specific data. I'm not going to go over it, but this is great news. This is great AI news for us. So that's CSM. The next one we will go over is Disney. Yes, Disney finally reported an earnings. This is the fourth quarter earnings in the September. Basically, I believe September. But anyway, there was a reported earning that topped the Wall Street estimates on Thursday because of the, interestingly, ticket sales. Ticket sales has to do with Deadpool and Wolverine, because Deadpool and Wolverine, I believe that this movie costs them a little bit. It should be like, don't quote me on that, but I'm not very sure. But anyways, like between 200 and 300 billion, $1 million. And the box office came back $1.3 billion in the global box office. So they make quite a bit of money off this one here. But that only covers the other one that's not making so much money. So anyway, let's go over with the report. Keep going with the report. The company projected an adjusted EPS for a percentage growth in a high single digits in fiscal year 2025. Even with the capital expenditures roughly at $8 billion, it has said expected to buy back their shares, $3 billion worth of their stock. So anyway, this is always good news. If your earnings meet and exceed expectation, and you're gonna have the stock buyback, and also you have a good guidance for the next year, this is a formula for the stock price to go up, and it did. So as of Friday, the stock is up around 5.5%. We're looking at $115 per shares. But what it is, but what I'm concerned about this is that this Disney, besides this movie, everything else, they are not like TV shows. They're not making money on those ones. So those are the ones that they bombed the box office. Most of the other ones, there was only like one or two titles that they make money on that. So Disney also reported adjusted earning per shares of $1.14. By the fourth quarter ended in September, and then but the estimate is $1.10, so it's more than expected. Revenue is $22.6 billion. The Wall Street expectation 22.45, so it beats the estimate too. Operation income still rose 23% from the year earlier to nearly $3.7 billion. Yes, and the Deadpool and Wolverine, they make money, they banged. However, news is also said that since this movies make so much money, and then Bob Iger wants to kind of get involved with that, and he wants to use all those money to fund the ones that, you heard about that, right? To fund the ones that are not making money. So I think this is insane. But anyway, good news. It is still good news for Walt Disney. But however, let's see how next year is going to work out. So that's Disney. We have two more news. Two more news are involved with layoffs, and that is going to hurt this is going to hurt the employment. So AMD is laying off 4% of its global workforce, around 1,000 people. So it means that the total workforce that they have is around 25,000 people working for them. However, people that are working for AMD, if they're being laid off, means that those are the people that got paid pretty high pay, I have to say. Anyway, so AMD is regarded as the closest rival to NVIDIA. Basically, it's a direct rival to NVIDIA. Whatever if NVIDIA has, they have something to that too. But however, there is something they're doing good. There's something they're not doing as good. So anyway, the chip designer, I have to say, they're trying to go in something. They try to get into is generative AI, just like Gen AI. Let's look into the numbers, because they want to cut costs, so then they want to have a leaner, workforce, so then they can save. They want to put the money where it belongs. So anyway, let's look into the numbers. We have the revenue of the AMD data center segment, which houses its AI graphic processor, jumped more than twofold in the September quarter. And then on the other hand, they have a personal computer segment also grew 29%. However, we have a problem is the gaming segment. The gaming units is down 69% during this period of time. So anyway, though, it's going to be covered, but so that's why they have to refocus on something else. The analysts expected the data center units to grow 98% in 2024, outpacing the expectation of only 13, the revenue growth at 13% according to the average estimates of LSEG. So anyway, there are more numbers. So the company research and development costs goes up 9%. However, for the third quarter, the total cost of sales rose by 11%. So anyway, that's AMD. This next one is GM. Well, we just talked about the EV division. They have been losing money on that one, and they try to eliminate a lot of things. But anyway, GM is laying off 1,000 workers to worldwide, but most of them is going to be the U.S. and that's going to hurt our employment rates. And the reason why it's not just this here, it's about in August they laid off 1,000 people already. They laid off 1,000 workers in the software program, the software department, and then afterwards September they laid off 1,700 workers in the Kansas manufacturing plant. So now, and then let's go a year before that, they lay off 5,000 workers. They lay off 5,000 salary workers. So they are just really it's gonna hurt the economy. It's gonna hurt us. It's gonna hurt. This is not doing so good. But it has to do with the electric vehicle, because they are not making money. So that's the reason why they are trying to cut some of the production line. They are going to keep the ones that is making money and then forget about the ones that they're going to basically stop the other production line, or they may be preparing for a new production line. So they are aiming to cut $2 billion to the $4 billion losses they have. They expect next year to lose their money on the EVs. So anyway, so this is one of the steps. So are they going to lay off some more? Probably. So this kind of numbers is actually going to hurt our employment rates. So anyway, stay tuned to that. So anyway, that's GM. Now let's go over is the market analysis. Let's look into our stock market first. We have the US stock closed lower, all of them. It seems like the momentum is dying down with last week's the presidential election, and also that we have a rate cuts of a quarter points, a 0.25% of the interest rate cuts. So actually now the momentum is dying down. The Federal Reserve also, just we talked about earlier, that they might not have a rate cut next month, and with this retail sales growth of 0.4%, so this actually hurts the stock market. So let's look into the three major stock indexes, all record declines this week. We have Dow down at 1.24%, S&P 500 is down 2%, a little over 2%, and Nasdaq is down more than 3% this week. So right now, so what will be my recommendation if you are going to be in the stock market? So if the number is right, try not to hold so much stocks in hands, because it doesn't look good. So anyway, we'll just wait and see. The next one let's look into is the crypto market. So well, a lot of movement in the crypto market, and also the news as well, because of the Trump transition team is considering a pro crypto person, Summer Mersingers, as the chairman of the Commodity Future Trading Commission. So Mersingers advocates for a more relaxed regulatory policies for cryptocurrencies, and also he criticized the CFTC before was dealing with crypto companies in enforcement and supervision manner, which means that they are on the case all the time. SEC was on the case on the time. CFTC is on the case all the time. Basically, every single platform in the United States, they have it. They will send out letters and try to have an investigation, but well, the same result usually is like they will find the lawyers and try to settle it because they have no grounds. Basically, the SEC has no grounds on it, and then afterwards we have the CFTC as well. So anyway, things are going to change, and we have other candidates, including the former CFTC commissioners, Jill Summer, and also the former official, Josh Sterling. This move may affect the regulatory direction of the U.S. crypto market. So that's the reason why the crypto is as strong as ever. So now let's take a look into the Bitcoin. The beginning last week, it went up and came back down. But it's kept steady. Right now, we are still close to 90,000. Yes, I think it's gonna break 100,000. However, I rather them to be staying like around this level, kind of give them a bigger momentum when they try to break through. The reason why, if Bitcoin keep going up like that, even if it broke the ceiling, it's going to come back down. It's going to come right back down because the momentum is not there yet. The resistance level, yes, is strong, but the thing is with the momentum is even stronger. However, if you're going to break through 100,000 without the right momentum behind it, it's going to crash back down. So right now it's perfect. So we are looking at the support level is supposed to be at 85, and we're probably going to see this is the Bitcoin is going to pull back to 85,000, stay there for a little bit, and then afterwards it's going to punch through all the way to 100,000. However, there could still be a chance that it's going to break the 85 and it's going to go down. So the next support level is going to be at the 80,000, which it shouldn't happen. So anyway, what we're going to do, how we see it as we buy in dips, because the boom market is far from over. For Bitcoin, for cryptocurrency especially. So anyway, we try to, when you see a pullback, it's a good time to buy. So now let's go over the history of cryptocurrencies, because if we don't know the past, it's kind of hard to see the future, right? So anyway, let's kind of have a better understanding how crypto is different from stocks. So anyway, let's go over the history first. Let's summarize the history of the cryptocurrency. Short, but it is definitely exciting because it changes the world. It created a new industry. Bitcoin started 2008, pioneering the world of cryptocurrency and gave birth to the true world-changing industry. Were there cryptocurrency before Bitcoin? Yes. But Bitcoin is the one that's being circulated after. This is the first being circulated. All right. So actually, and then afterwards, there's another one is worth mentioning is the launch of Ethereum, and the ERC20, allowing us to witness the birth of smart contracts. You know what smart contracts is? Well, let's put it this way. Smart contracts is something that when we do any kind of transaction without using a medium. What does it mean? So let's think about a credit card. So do you want to swipe your credit card, so then Visa, MasterCard, so then Visa, MasterCard will process your payment. And then afterwards, Visa, MasterCard is going to pay the person that you make the transaction with. So anyway, so that is a traditional transaction for any kind of money transaction, and even money too. However, smart contract, this concept is that we have the buyer and we have the seller, and without anybody in the middle of the transaction. Well, there is actually, but the thing is that we don't have to really go through that would take time because like the money doesn't have to go to one place. We have company to process it, so that's why there's a gas fee for the Ethereum. But basically, what it is that the process happens just in time, it's right away. That is, and then you have the medium that basically that they just charge the thing. They help you with the payments. However, the payments is direct instead of indirect. Just the people just take the gas charge out of that. So we will go over what gas charge is afterwards. All right. So anyway, this is a term that this in turn leads to a rise of decentralized finance, which facilitates more and more people to use the various decentralized service. So Bitcoin was introduced to the world as the first cryptocurrency more than a decade ago. A lot has changed since then. It wasn't perfect, but it's getting together. Is very right now. I think right now is perfect the way it is. So let's take a look at the history of the cryptocurrencies and important changes that enable us to this great industry. So anyway, the historic beginnings of Bitcoin, the idea of having digital currencies, old. Many people have tried to create the cryptocurrencies before Bitcoin came along, and most of them were preliminary. Just primary phase system is what it is the duplicate spending problem. What does it mean by that? First of all, cryptocurrencies is extremely special when it comes to that, because you can have a token, you can have your coin, right? But the thing is, if you don't spend the whole thing, you can spend partially on the cryptocurrency, unlike a regular coin that you have to spend the whole thing and get change afterwards. So this one you can spend it partially. However, the problem is that how are we going to avoid the same token is being used twice? And that was the biggest issue. So they had to ensure that the digital assets could only be spent once and preventing the duplication and also counterfeits. And that was a big problem then. And that's why the blockchain, it came out. So anyway, we'll keep going. So the more than a decade before the cryptocurrency came along, computer engineer Wei Dai came up with a concept. 1998, he published a paper discussing B-money and proposed the idea that digital money could be sent through a set of untraceable digital pseudonyms. So the same year, blockchain pioneer Nick, I hope I pronounced his name right, Nick Szabo, that tries to hand at something called BitGo. So BitGo also sought to create a decentralized digital currency, and then he was inspired by the inefficiency of the traditional financial system, such as the metal needed to make coins, and the desire of reduce the trust required to create transactions. So while neither of these coins were officially launched, but they were both important drivers for the creation of Bitcoin. So now let's go over Bitcoin. So we have this person, Satoshi Nakamoto. Satoshi Nakamoto. I'm not very familiar with this name because I know this guy. I know this guy is the one who published the first white paper, but no one has seen this person before. No one. So basically, this person is almost like a myth. So who created Bitcoin? No one knows. So anyway, but he's the first person who wrote the white paper about Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, which described the power of the Bitcoin blockchain network. This day is a significant moment in the history of Bitcoin and praise the way of the subsequent rise of the rise of the blockchain. So anyway, this person basically just laid out the whole thing, what Bitcoin is going to be from that time on. So it's funny because there was so much myths. A lot of people, some people even say that this guy is like like a time machines like from the future and uses OpenAI to wrote this white paper. It's funny. I have here all the different stories. But anyway, 4 months later, Satoshi Nakamoto, whose identity remains a mystery till today, mines the first block of Bitcoin network. So this is what mining, that is what is so special about Bitcoin, because you don't have to trade it. Well, you can buy it, but the thing is, where does it come from? It is from mining. And hopefully next time we'll have more time to talk about mining, because mining is a big industry out there. And it is, I mean, like you can actually mine your own Bitcoin, so you don't have to buy it. So this is like a totally great concept. And then the first block mined is also known as the Genius block. So anyway, so then we have another thing. Until this day, everybody still talks about that. It's the first recorded purchase of Bitcoin, using Bitcoin to purchase something. And this person bought 2 pizzas for, hear it, 10,000 BTC. 10,000. He uses 10,000 Bitcoin to buy 2 pizza. That day was also known as a Bitcoin Pizza Day. So, but you think about this. Right now, with the price of 90,000 per Bitcoin, and he used 10,000 of them to buy 2 pizza. That 2 pizzas is worth $900 million. So each of them is $450 million if we're going to be using the price right now. So I think this is an interesting fact of that. So anyway, the formation of the crypto markets. After the birth of the first cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, people began to look for solutions to trade Bitcoin. So in March 2010, the first exchange, the cryptocurrency exchange came out. It's called BitcoinMarket.com, but it doesn't exist anymore. And then afterwards, the same year, we have Bitcoin exchange at Mt. Gox was launched, and you can Google it, because it was a big thing back then, but there was fraud and everything going on. So then the companies has to go bankrupt. There was a fraud and everything when it comes to Bitcoin transactions. So anyway, from 2011 to 2013, the price of Bitcoin finally reaches the parity with the US dollars in February 2013. During this year, some competitive cryptocurrency emerges. We have May 2013. There are 10 digital assets cryptocurrency market, including the Litecoin, and also we have the XR. We have the XRP, and then we also have the other ones too. So anyway, so that is the history. That is a partial history of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. So anyway, thank you very much. Thank you. And then I would like to thank Mr. Sorab for your support. Thank you for your wonderful ideas. So that's the reason why then for the next 2 broadcasts is dedicated to answer your question. All right. So please, thank you very much. And for all the other members too, you guys are just as equal as Mr. Sorab. So anyway, if you have any questions regarding investment, we're talking about a strategy, investment strategies, or any kind of questions, please let me know. You can direct message me. You can message my assistants or your trader. All right. So have a good night. Bye.